School can be really unfair. So here are some real YouTube comments from people telling their stories and my thoughts about them. What the hell? These people are such petty authorities. Like, you can't move chairs around. Just don't touch anything. We don't trust you to do anything. And they're just suppressing things like letting the new kids have lunch with someone instead of being alone. Because they don't think about the consequences of what they're doing. And they don't think about like why someone was moving a chair around. They're just like, oh, stop disrupting things, don't move chairs, don't do anything, try not to exist. And then you won't step on any toes. This one is ridiculous. The teacher felt interrupted because someone raised her hand at a time when the teacher didn't want to answer a question. So not only are you not allowed to just, talk without permission, you're supposed to judge when the teacher doesn't want to answer questions and don't raise your hand during those times, or you might get in trouble. And the teachers are scary. Like, since that day, no one dares raise their hand in art class. Like, they intimidate kids. It matters to the kids to get, like, a teacher mad at them. Like, they know that there's consequences, like bad grades, if your teachers hate you. Teachers will punish you dishonestly. Like, it's grade falsification to lower your grade because the teacher doesn't like you, but they do it anyways, and everyone knows they do it, and the kids have to deal with that. Okay, what the actual fuck? Like, kids have no privacy at school. Like, the teacher finds out personal information and then just tells the whole class? Like, what the hell? The other person says they got in trouble multiple times for having crushes on girls. I think that's like a modern thing. Like, I think you used to be allowed to have crushes on girls, but nowadays it's sexual harassment, basically. It's like modern feminism. If you approach a girl, that's like aggression. And that sucks for everyone. Like, it sucks for the boys, but it also sucks for the girls because girls don't want to ask guys out. Like, mostly they're passive and they want to be asked out. That's the traditional gender role that most people on both genders prefer to act according to. So you have to like break the rules and like risk getting in trouble in order to get anywhere with girls. It's such a rigged system and it's so unfair. Like, the people who listen to their teachers and their authorities do badly with girls. So this is just what happens when you have arbitrary authority and there's no recourse and there's no justice, there's no due process. Like, having a justice system and rules and stuff and doing it well is hard. That's why like the legal system has so many protections and established traditions and lawyers and all sorts of things to help make it fair. There's like, the judge and the jury are different people and you get a lawyer to defend your side, and there's like rules about how the debate happens. Like, the lawyers don't just yell at each other. There's like the introduction or the opening or whatever, and like they each get to talk, and there's rules about who talks first, and then like they get the witnesses and they get a closing statement. Like, there's a whole procedure that makes it fairer. And schools don't have any of that stuff. It's just some teacher said so. The teacher is judge, jury, and executioner, and you get results like this with double standards and inconsistencies. This is another good example. It's just there's no fairness. There's no clear objective rules that get enforced. Teachers just do whatever they feel like. That teacher remembers when they were in school and they didn't like tattletales and they thought kids should just not report things to the teacher. So now they're acting like that as a teacher, apparently. Or they just didn't want to bother. Maybe they just didn't want to deal with it. Dealing with it sounds like work. And if they say fuck off, then they don't have to do any work and nothing's going to happen. The kid's not going to get them in trouble, probably. And I remember in school, the teachers would say, like, if you have a problem, come to us, right? They don't want you to, like, take matters into your own hand and, like, hit the kid back or, do something yourself to stand up for yourself. They're saying, if there's a problem, you come get a teacher and the teacher will deal with it. Don't deal with it yourself. And so then when you go try that, like, I tried that a few times, and the teachers were not helpful and they wouldn't do anything. It's similar to this. Like, some kid did something wrong to me. I tell the teacher doesn't care. They don't want to spend the time and effort to deal with it. So I learned pretty quickly, like, the teachers aren't actually going to help. Like, it's really dishonest that they don't want to help, but they tell you to come to them. And if you don't come to them and you deal with it yourself, you can get in trouble. They're like, oh, you should have come to us. You shouldn't have taken matters into your own hands. And it's so awful that they're teaching you Like, authorities deal with things, you don't deal with things. Don't solve your own problems. Don't be like strong, confident, assertive. Don't deal with problems yourself. Just ask the teacher and pray that the authority likes you enough to do something, because you have no control over your own life and you're not allowed to do things to control your own life. It's so awful. Why would your mom make you read out your like private diary to your classmates at school? I guess the mom doesn't want her to be a slut, like just shaming her away from dating stuff. Like if she gets punished for anything in the realm of dating at all, it'll scare her off boys and she won't become a teen mom. Do you think that's gonna work really well? Or is she just gonna hide all her thoughts and feelings about boys from her mom as well as she can, so her mom will never be able to give her good advice? Not that this mom was capable of giving good advice, but like theoretically, if she thinks she can give good advice, theoretically if she could give good advice, she's just discouraging her kid from ever interacting with her about this stuff. So that's not going to help. So these were some examples of ways school is unfair and awful.